Hello learners, today I want to discuss with you Google Shopping free listings functionality and show you some tips and tricks on how I deal with this tool. I think it's underestimated tool service from Google because a lot of people think it's like shopping is only for pay per click activities and advertisement campaigns, but you could even without money make with more visibility in Google, show your products on Shopping tab, in some cases in Image tab, in YouTube. But before we start, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and leave your comments below the video if you will have some questions or suggestions, because it's important for me to get some feedback from you. So at first, let's just understand how Google Shopping works. It's a unique gift when someone wants to buy some item for, in this case, like a new model of a smartphone. They could just go in the Shopping tab and dive through all the features, all the brands and stores, and get the most important features directly for Google interface, like prices, availability, main features, delivery options, and so forth. And instead of clicking on each store and go there and waste a time, customer could review all the options, all the possible brands and suppliers, and then make a decision whether it's worth to go directly in the shop. In general, Google Shopping is powered by two big platforms. It's Google Ads for advertisement campaigns and Google Merchant Centrals. And there is where you could, in Merchant Central, you could easily upload your free feed list. We will talk about it later, and start showing your products for free there. Good news is that in 2020, Google announced that free product listings are available in a lot of countries, and for free you can show your products in a shopping, also in Google Search tab. First of all, you should know that there are some pieces of restricted content which are not allowed to be shown in Google Merchant, such as adult-oriented content, alcohol, beverages, gambling, healthcare, and high food, sugar, salt, food, and beverages. What about landing pages? In this case, we don't talk about home pages. We talk about pages which you submit in Google Merchant So in other words, your product pages, what should be there? First of all, content there should match what is actually shown in your feed. Feed is like a list of the main characteristic. Googlebot then uses these informations to fetch price, availability, button, and what Google says that it's really important to update your data when any time of when you change prices, every type of changes made, you should update it so the information there match with what you're shown in feeds. It should be title, descriptions, price, currency, availability, and buy option. So first of all, you should know that there are some pieces of restricted content that couldn't be shown in Google, such as adult-oriented content, alcoholic beverages, gambling, healthcare-related products, and high-fat, sugar, salt, food, and beverages. Second important note is that you should review your landing pages. In that case, we don't talk about homepage. We talked actually about a page where your customer would potentially land. In this case is your product pages. So what Google wants is to ensure that all elements which are on your page match with feed. Feed is a file with columns and important columns with important attributes which Googlebot fetch and then show in Google Merchants. It's like data and structured data, in other words, so that Googlebot will more quickly scan your pages. And we will talk about feeds later. What Google wants is to ensure that all changes you made on pages, it will also be represented in feed. You can do it automatically, but today I want more to talk about some small e-commerce shops who will do this task manually, just like update the information. Before we move on, first of all, there are some pieces of restricted content that couldn't be used in Google Merchant, such as adult-oriented content, alcoholic beverages, gambling, healthcare, and high-fat, sugar, salt, food, and beverages. Second important info is your landing pages. And in that case, we don't talk about homepage. We talked about your items, your product pages, which will be shown then. So from where your customer can go to your website. They will land not on your homepage from Google Shopping merchant listings, but they go directly to this URL of your item. So you should pay a lot of attention how your products are represented there. And what Google say is that it's really important to match submitted in your product data, in your feeds, in other words, and what you show actually on your site. It could be done automatically for big e-commerce stores. they use API to manage this information. But today I want to show you how to manually do it if you work in a small with a small e-commerce projects or your own small business. It's just easier to update it once per month. It's a requirement by the month to update your data once per 30 days because it will be marked as outdated. I will show you on the next slides how it should be look like. And also, the second point is that category pages, for instance, they're not allowed. So what you should submit on your feed are only items or your products, actually, not like categories or subcategories or homepage or something, only products. The next important point is checkout requirements and important pages that should be submitted on your site. First of all, if your advertisement in a country which require to add tax rates, it should be clearly presented that your price includes or not includes the tax. Then your checkout for sure should be secure with HTTP protocols, and all the measurements could be done to secure user data. You could upload shipping costs inside the Google Merchants for all products, or if you don't want to do so, you could also upload it in your feed. You should make sure that your site contains such important pages as About Us, Contact Us page, terms and conditions, and refund and return policy. Not least, but very important, which options user has to refund, to return items. If you target a lot of countries, you could add selector, like add multiple countries selector, or you could upload your product data as a new feed in a supported language with prices for specific country and currency. I will link below the video link to supported countries and currencies because it's not the same for all countries. It depends. Sometimes in some countries shopping tab isn't available. In some countries your products could only be submitted if tax rate is added there, and so on and so forth. There are a lot of options, so please review what could be done, what can be done within specific region, specific country. Where your free listings could appear. First of all, in Google search. In rich results, and you could see price separability, words. Yeah, so it's what you, in other words, get when you add product data information schema. By the way, schema is in some way could by default add this information. It's not like the requirement to add your product feed data, right? You could add structured data in JSON, for instance, microdata, and get this results. But what I'm talking is, it's like additional opportunity to increase visibility. If you have free instrument to show more info about your products, why to lose this opportunity, right? So first of all, it could help to get more feature snippets results in Google search, and then you could also get some info on Google Images and Google Lens. It will be marked as product, and the signals this product image can be purchased and count. There are some other options in Google documentation. They also said that your product feed could be shown on Maps and on YouTube sometimes, but I haven't seen it much. If you seen it somehow, let me know. Interesting to see some results on how it works. But yeah, in general, what it could be used, like in most cases, it could increase number of rich snippets, and it also could add your products in shopping tab and image tab with a product label. Even so, great opportunities. Let's move on and talk about how to set up your free product listings inside the interface. So first you go to Google for Retail, sign in there, and use options. 1 second, I will switch to the interface to show you in live. So here we see some options. You go directly in Merchant Central, because today we want to talk more about this one tool. I'm already logged in, and it's because I show the interface, but then if you sign up for the first time, just fill in the basic information, log in with your account, and let's move on. Second, you should set up the projects. Important, they have some steps. Please don't miss any opportunity to fill up as much fields as possible, such as which country to follow, what is your delivery time, and so on and so forth. How to actually add your products there. There are a lot of options. You can add it one by one, but it's boring and take a lot of time. You could upload it, for instance, if you work with popular WooCommerce for WooCommerce stores on WordPress. They have a plugin which fetch up information automatically. But to be honest, I am not a fan of it. First of all, because I don't know, personally for me, it breaks a lot of time. It just doesn't load or something. And also, it submits as a descriptions. It submits as a title of the product, it submits H1 headings, as in the descriptions, the first part below the product, and I don't like what he shows from there. I couldn't change it. Maybe you know how. Show me please if you know. But I couldn't change it, and I like the information it submits there. I more like to submit title, meta title as a title of the product, and description as a description of the products, for instance. So I will show you how I upload my information, but it's also option to use a plugin. And you could also, and we will talk more about this option, to upload your data via Google Sheets, download the template, and then fill up the data like manually, but we will automate it. Then Google is supposed to download the sample of product feeds with all already set up columns. So here you get all the already columns which you need to fill in. Some of them are required attributes, some of them no. Let's briefly look through what should be there. In yellow, I highlighted those which are must be submitted. First of all, your ID. Let me show you on an example what is ID. For instance, this is my husband WooCommerce shop, and this is what ID look like. It could be any metric you use, but it should be unique for each product. In other words, it's Q number, identifier, which you set up inside the WooCommerce or Shopify products, and it just could be number, or also some few words on what is it, so you can identify, Googlebot identify each item by this Q number, by this ID. Then title. In my case, if I'm not mistaken, I used H1 headings, but it's also up to you. You could also your meta description, or I'm sorry, your title for this, or any other piece of information for this. Then descriptions. Yeah, the same here. Condition is sorry, a link to your products, of course. Like you just copy the full URL and insert there. Your condition of products, it's optional. It's optional? Is it if it's new? If you deal with used products, you should submit there that it's already used. It's a requirement. But if you sell only new products, you can omit this information. But, for now, let's move on. Availability, it should be in stock or out of stock, or on demand. I generally use in stock options for most of the cases. Image link, in this case, for instance, I will link to this one image of the product. And then there are some optional information. The green one are optional for products, like it's not required in most cases, but there are some conditions when you should use it, like GTIN number or brand, if it's a famous brand. Google product category also could be omitted, could be not, but I recommend to use it on your own. It's Google classification on where your products in which category will be shown. And my recommendation is to set up it by your own, because sometimes Google choose it on a really strange way. If you don't want to appear somewhere which your product not belong to, it's better to use code. Also, link is below the video, to use a code of product category where it could be used. Now let me show you how to automatize this process of getting all the needed information. So it's not to fill in the data manually. What I use is Scream Info Crawler, a custom extractor feature. Let me show you how it works. What I do, first of all, I crawl the site as usual, right? Then I filter all the items URLs for specific countries. I have two languages there, Russian language and Ukrainian. Ukrainian is my main one. That's why I separated all the URLs. Here you see it's like initial step. I think it's easy to do, so I won't lose your time. All Ukrainian variants of products. What then I do? I go to mode, list mode, and upload, enter all the URLs manually. But before that, I'm sorry, you need to add configuration. Let me show you what it looks like. I already save it, but I will show you to do. You go to configuration, custom extraction, and what we have there, it might look scary, but believe me, one time you set up it for a site, it will be easier for you than to just use the saved settings. If your design isn't changed, it will be the same each time, and it will take like one you set up, then you go and don't repeat this process. What I did there, it has option to explore XPath, regex, and CSS path. What do? You, for instance, in this case, I extracted H1 heading for title. So I just go on a product, inspect the element. In this case, I see that here is my H1 heading, and then what I do, I go to inspect and then copy full XPath. And then just submitted it here. In some cases, such as if I want to submit information for head section description, I use regex, which extract meta description. So I use not the XPath because it's not presented on a page, right? It's presented in the head section. But if you're okay, for instance, to submit information that is used like this one as the main description of the product, it's also okay. You do the same, inspect, and then copy the full XPath. I also availability, I extracted it from schema. As I said, I have product schema, and as I said, schema is already your product information. Actually, Google could scroll your schema and extract data from there, but in many cases, it's keep, especially when e-commerce is not popular. In some cases, Google bots just skip this part and submit product data for a few items only. But I actually saw the boost of crawling of product data when I additionally submitted via Google Merchant listing. So why not to use this opportunity, right? Yeah, sorry, too much information in my head. And yeah, the last one here, I also extract the image, the main image. When I use these settings, I set up OK, and then upload all my URLs. So I want to get information for my items. Let me show you briefly how it will look like. Yeah, it's already worked. So I have extraction of my title, description, ID, price. Second price, it's for variant product, but I don't use it, as I said before. Availability, in stock and not in stock, image, and so on and so forth. So you could, by the way, if your all items are in stock, you could omit this because you just need to submit in stock for all of them. But yeah, just in case some other options, you could use these settings. Yeah. I know it's not the best way for big e-commerce. You could ask your programmers and set up the products, but we all know how to work with dev teams sometimes. By the way, I have a video on how to work better and more productive with dev teams. Watch it. But yeah, sometimes you could on your own do your things, right? Submit the information, set up it, and update like one per month. It's take like after you set up and submit all the information, it will take like 3 minutes of your time. So why not to do that? So what happens next when we submit all this information? We go there in our feed and submit it. Let me show you where it happens. Here we have all products and feeds settings. And here you see I already submitted. Its website crawl is what Google Merchant do of its own if it finds some products which submitted there and use it there. But we could show all range of our products, and it is here there. It's our feed I already showed you and submitted here for Ukraine, and more than 1,100 products are submitted for your free listings there. What happens next? You wait for a few days, and then you have you can actually review. You should diagnose which status of your items has. For instance, in my case, 44 items were submitted. It was the previous version, and it's valid. Then I have expired items. If you haven't updated the information within 30 days, it will expire. So don't forget to do it. If for some reason something is wrong, your items will be disapproved. So don't forget in a few days to review this data. Let me show you how it looks like in this case. Yeah, already 52 items for my last feed submitted. All of them are valid. Everything is fine. But if I will see some notifications or receive it via email, I will just go look through, updated the data automatically as I showed before, and get my results there. So what I thought I submitted this info 2 weeks ago, I guess, and what I saw that some items from this list already appears in Google Shopping. Let me show you. This is one of the more top solved product on my site, and this keyword is important for us. And I already there, not on the first position, of course, because there are big brands, classifiers, and established brands on the market. But yeah, here we see that we have there is an item. We can go there, click. I see all the information I submitted there, like price and all other details which we submitted there. And then I have an options to visit the site to go to landing page, and then convert. Because before 2 weeks ago, we haven't appeared there yet. So yeah, I see some positive results. Let me show what is your experience, whether this video was clear for you. If you have some questions, I always will be glad to answer. Find me on LinkedIn, write your comments below the video, and we will deal with it together. Thank you for watching. Thank you, everyone, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.